Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing a review of a horror film from the United States, English language, released in the year 2012, directed by Howie Askins, and this film is called Evidence. Evidence is a found footage horror film. We start off with a group of young adults who are making a documentary in the wilderness for the weekend. If they think that bickering amongst themselves are going to be the worst problems that they're going to face, they have another thing coming when they realise that they spot something in a ravine. Now this thing appears to be a bush, but then all of a sudden it moves. So they're absolutely freaked out. They think it's an animal, but this is one big animal. So pretty soon they start hearing noises at night, and they think that it's this thing that they've just seen. So they're in a fight for survival, and their weekend has just gone from bad to worse when they realise later in the film that they are out of their depth and that what they've got themselves in for is something far bigger than they could ever have imagined. So that's all I'm going to give you on the synopsis. If you want to know more, please go out there and see this film for yourself. Now my thoughts on Evidence. I really like this film. It does have a lot of brilliance in it, but unfortunately for me it prevents itself from being a great film because it's like The Sport Team. This movie is not a very good team, but it has brilliant individual players. And what I mean by that is that the first half is a contrasting difference to the second half. And when it comes together, it feels like it's two different movies, and you want to see more from each element. Now, the start of the movie, it's very good. It's set in the wilderness. It's very reminiscent of the Blair Witch. And what I loved about Blair Witch and what I loved about the first half of this film is that it creates a sense of dread. It creates a sense of imagination. You hear these things, but you can't see what it is. So already your mind starts playing tricks on you. You magnify the threat, that it's much bigger, and you don't know if it is as big, but as the movie progresses and the sounds are getting worse and worse, your imagination goes crazy. So the director allows you to use that. You don't get to see what's hunting them or what is the danger, not for a very long time, so you're constantly thinking, is it very big, is it, maybe it's completely different, but it's that sense that, something is watching you, it's always watching you, and you have that, the slight tingle down the back of your spine, the cold tingle, where you think to yourself, wow, I'm in danger, I don't know where to go, but, I have to do something. So there's a sense of dread, there's a sense of, discomfort in the film that was created very well in the atmosphere. As far as the setting is concerned, I thought the wilderness played to it very well. There's danger every corner. You couldn't just run away because it was too far away, and whatever was hunting them, you didn't know if it was fast, you didn't know if it was strong. As I said, it's that constant feeling of, atmosphere, psychology, and I thought it did it very well. And there's one scene in particular involving the thing that they see in the ravine. They think it's a large bush, and you can see it. It does look like a bush, but then all of a sudden it moves. And that particular moment just sends a chill down your spine. I thought that was one of the most effective set pieces in a horror film that I've seen in a very long time. And that was probably my favourite part of the movie, is that it was done so subtly, but it was so scary. It was in broad daylight as well, so it doesn't, it shows that you don't have to do something in the darkness to create something scary. So in the first half of the movie, it had a lot of great things going for it. Very, very brilliant sort of individual pieces. And then all of a sudden, the twist happens. And whoa, the twist was mind-boggling. I was not expecting that. And the negative to the twist is that it's too much of a twist. So it feels like you've watched a film and then all of a sudden you've jumped into another film, because it takes a completely different turn and it just goes absolutely crazy. And I love the craziness that second half had to it, but when it gels together, it feels very disjointed. It feels like you want to see more of the first half and then you want to see more of the second half. So the first half should have been a movie of its own, and the second half should have been a movie of its own. And then, it could have made two very, very good films. Maybe short films in an anthology or something, but I just thought that because it's so far, the complete opposite way that the twist takes, it does feel like you've jumped into another movie, and that it feels like both elements to the film aren't as satisfying as they could have been. It should have been a lot more consistent. Maybe the twist not quite as out of out of the blue completely. If it wasn't out of the blue completely, then maybe it would have been a lot better, because as I said, it feels like a completely different movie, and that took me out of it a little bit. Another problem I have with the movie is that it is very generic. The characters are not likable. They're all arguing with each other. They're saying, turn the camera off, I'm sick of it. You've seen that all before. So a little bit of originality in the characters would have been a little bit better. And I thought the jump scares, while they were predictable, they were well done. And then you've got the noises in the darkness, that's been done before with the Blair Witch, and although in Evidence it plays to its advantage because, as I said, you're using your imagination, it's not something that you're going to be impressed with if you want something different. So it is a generic piece, but then in the second half it just goes absolutely nuts. Was not expecting the second half. I love the second half, but when it combines with the first half, as I said, it's a team of individuals, brilliant individuals, but as a team, Evidence doesn't quite come together to create a really satisfying response, because instead of thinking about, wow, how cool is that movie, you're thinking, oh god, if only they made 2 separate films, it would have been absolutely fantastic. So together, it doesn't quite it's not quite as polished as it wants to be, but on an individual basis, I thought both of the elements were fantastic, and as a result of that, I would highly recommend you check out Evidence. I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. 3.5 because although it doesn't gel together very well, it does what it does very well, as in creates a lot of suspense in the first half, and then it's a different type of horror in the second half. So individually, excellent, but combined as a team, it does leave a little bit more. So that was disappointing, but yeah, 3.5 stars for Evidence. I'm still going to recommend it, especially if you're a fan of the found footage subgenre. Alright guys, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.